everyone. So I have Miss Winona here with me today, and I'm going to be changing her into something a little bit different but still kind of similar. We're going to put her in some more pink, which is unusual for me. I feel like usually I don't go for pink 2 times in a row, but this outfit would be super cute. So I just have this adorable little Carter's onesie with some animals on it. I think it's got like a kangaroo, giraffe, elephant, rabbit. And then I have this really cute loved baby romper to go over it. I think that the colors just look super cute together. I think that this color is in the sand, if you guys are interested. And then I believe that I'm going to do a bow, but I brought out the other bear hat in the other shade of pink in case I change my mind. And today we're going to be talking about kind of a controversial topic. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of differing opinions, and I'm kind of excited to hear what everyone thinks. So let's jump into it. The topic for today is, what is the best methods to clean and care for your Reborn? I have been in the Reborn hobby for so long, and I have purchased many dolls and have received many different sets of care instructions. And I mean, of course, there's the basics like, don't carry your doll by the arm, don't leave them in direct sunlight, don't put dark clothing on them that could stain them. However, the things that I see that differ in all of these care instructions is how you should keep your doll clean and how you should care for their hair. And I've heard lots of different YouTubers talk about this and how they do it and how they maintain their dolls. And even through my Reborn journey, I have used different methods to care for my dolls as well. And so I kind of want to talk about, like when I first started collecting, what were my methods and like how they've kind of changed and why they've kind of changed. And I think overall it'll just be a good, interesting topic. So yeah, let's jump right in. I think I already said that. Anyway, now let's actually jump in. So I think when I first started collecting Reborns, I was handling them quite a bit more than I handle my dolls now. Of course, when you're new in the hobby, you just don't want to put your new doll down. It's just so much fun and so exciting and everything like that. And so I felt like my dolls needed to be cleaned once a year, and so I would use like an extremely gentle soap, like a no scent, no perfumes, no dyes, nothing like that. Like even I think baby soap has some perfume, so I tried to stay away from that, just use the most basic stuff I could find, and a little bit of lukewarm water to bathe them. And I would just use a moist washcloth, rub down the limb, and then use the dry washcloth, rub down the limb, and at the very end I would get in all the details with a moist Q-tip, which I think is a totally okay method to clean your vinyl doll. That definitely is not the best idea for a silicone, but for vinyl I feel like that's okay, that works. However, now that I handle my dolls significantly less, I feel like I really just need to kind of dust them every once in a while. So I have a dry microfiber cloth that I can just like wipe out anywhere where I kind of see dust. Like sometimes it kind of collects like in their eyes or like in between fingers and things like that. So I can kind of just get in there with that cloth or a dry Q-tip. But yeah, I feel like the whole like, whether cleaning your doll with something moist or cleaning your doll with something dry is better. So here's kind of my take on it. I feel like if you do handle your doll a lot and you take them out a lot, and they're like bound to get oils on them from your hands, and they're bound to get just different stuff on them from traveling and being out in the open, especially if you like to do photo shoots outside. Like things are just going to get on your dolls. And I feel like oils don't really come off very well if you're just using like a dry cloth. I feel like if you really want to get off like oils from your skin, you're just gonna need some sort of soap. That's just my thought. And I agree that like you shouldn't be using, like your Bath and Body Works Japanese cherry blossom and just like dumping as much as you can of that in the water. When I did it, like I said, used the most mild soap that I could find. I can't remember the brand of it because I don't have it anymore. But yeah, fragrance free, super gentle, for people with really sensitive skin. I believe it was a Neutrogena brand, but I could be wrong. But anyway, yeah, so and I would just like put a couple drops of that and then kind of, suds it up a little bit in the lukewarm water. And, especially like if you're going to doll shows, I feel like it's not a bad idea to do that afterwards because you don't really want those oils from everyone's hands kind of sitting on there. And now the only time I really handle my dolls is when I am changing them. And so I feel like they really don't get as much oils on them, and the fact that I, really only have my dolls usually for 2, sometimes 3 years is kind of my average, which is sad to say, but it's true. I feel like in that time, it really just doesn't build up that much. So yeah, but I've heard like a lot of people who like will dip their dolls in limbs or use like a lot of soap or things like that. And so, I don't know, I want to know what you guys think. Do you think it's like bad for your doll if you do that, or do you think that people are just being a little too overly cautious? I want to know your opinions. And then Winona doesn't have hair, so I guess she's not like a fantastic example for this, but I already changed Bowie in the last video, so I wanted to switch it up for a minute. I thought I put the shirt on backwards, but I did not, so we're good. Yeah, when I first started, I would brush my doll's hair almost every single time that I changed them, because I felt like their hair got messed up. And I actually use a pretty similar method that I do today. I just have a little bit of conditioner and water in a spritzer container, and I used to use like the big soft bristle brushes. Now I just use a little toothbrush because I feel like I have more control, but still very, very similar texture, and I feel like that's not a huge difference. So I would do that, and I guess like the only thing that I've really changed is frequency. I feel like the only time that I really use the spritzer now is if my doll's hair is getting kind of frizzy, because mohair, after a while, I do think it gets a little frizzy. It really depends on like the quality of mohair. I know that some really good quality mohair doesn't get frizzy very often, if at all, but I found that most dolls that I have, it happens, It's still really beautiful hair, but I think it gets a little bit frizzy. So I like using a type of hair conditioner that does have coconut oil in it, and is mostly natural ingredients, if that makes sense. I've heard of people like just using a little bit of coconut oil, but I rather have the shampoo or the conditioner. I don't know why. I like the smell of it, and it's not very much in there. I usually only put like 3 or 4 drops, so it is mostly water. But I think it does help fight the frizz just a little bit. So yeah, that's kind of my opinion, and I feel like some other varying opinions that I've gotten is, you should never get your doll wet or put any soap on them of any sorts. You should only dust them. I've heard some people dust their dolls with like makeup brushes, which I would assume would work pretty similar to like the microfiber cloth that I was talking about. And this might actually be a little small for her. All right, we'll be right back with a different option, possibly pants. All right, we are back with a completely different onesie and outfit because that one was a little tight. So instead, we're gonna be doing this gray onesie by Wonder Nation, and then these adorable little bloomers from Jamie K. These are super cute. I'm excited to put these on her. But anyway, where I was going with that, usually with hair, I hear a lot of people say that you do not need to brush your doll's hair. Just use like a satin pillows for your doll's head, and so that it doesn't get all messy in back and it stays really nice and really beautiful. Some people also suggest using plastic wrap on the back of your doll's head so it doesn't get messed up. That's a bit of an extreme to me, just in my opinion, because then it, like, I'm kind of a more interactive collector. I don't really enjoy when my dolls are just, you know, sitting there quite as much, especially like if they're not like posed very realistically. Like, you wouldn't have plastic wrap on a real baby's head, so I don't know, I feel like it would just look silly to me. So that wouldn't be like my number one preference, but I suppose that it definitely could work if you didn't want to have to brush your doll's hair. I've also heard a lot of people say that you shouldn't be using anything wet on your doll's hair because it can like seep into the rooted holes. I think that that is a bit ridiculous if you ask me. I know I'm gonna have some people that say that like that is definitely true, it's happened to them, their doll's head has gotten moldy, and I do really feel bad for people who maybe have been through a situation like that. However, I live in an extremely dry environment, and so we typically don't really have an issue with mold, and I just really like how smooth and nice the part conditioner, part water makes the doll's hair feel. So I feel like it's really just up to you. It's up to your personal preferences and everything like that. I do think that, you know, everyone deserves a chance to kind of treat their doll like how they want to, and not be like ridiculously judged by it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there's certain things that like are very damaging to your doll that would be very upsetting as an artist or as a collector, because you're like, oh my gosh, that doll's so beautiful, and they're like holding it by one arm, or, you know, they're leaving it out in the sun for hours at a time, or, you know, things like that. But like simple things like washing your doll's limbs with like a damp cloth, I don't think people should be like angry and ridiculing you over it. I mean, it's your doll, you've spent the money on it, and I think that you should be able to care for it how you think best. And so, yeah. Oh my gosh, this little bonnet is so cute on her. I love these. Hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I would love to hear your opinions on the topic. If you guys have any other topic suggestions for me, I would love to hear them down below. But anyway, I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day, and I thank you so much for watching, and we will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye, everyone.